Is the first commandment referring to the Father or the Son? Or both? Or all three? Or a Trinity?
Father.
Which one is it? Father or the Son? Most people say the Father. Okay, I would agree with you, and here's why. But people will say, well, what do you mean? We don't worship Jesus? Like, we shouldn't have anybody before Jesus? Well, I've been talking this whole thing about how we need to follow Jesus Christ. Amen? Right. Now bear with me for a second. First commandment. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. The reason why is because God the Father is the ultimate source of all life. He's the ultimate authority. You ever wonder why? Like, why do we see so much idolatry in the Old Testament? Do you ever think about that? Why is there so much idolatry? Do you think that's just like a coincidence?
That was not Jesus.
They didn't have an image. They didn't have an image to God.
Think about this, okay? So idolatry. Okay, we read about idolatry all throughout the Old Testament. And the Israelites, the people, they were falling into idolatry. Now, do you think that they would carve an idol? Do you think that they understood, like, they were worshiping that stone? They were worshiping that idol?
It was just an image.
It was an image, right? It was a visible representation of their invisible God. And so they would worship their invisible God through a visible idol or an image. Did you know that God has an image? And it's the same word as idol. It says that Jesus Christ is the express image of God.
Exactly.
Multiple times in the New Testament, He is the image, the express image of God.
So He gave us what we wanted, an image.
In the second, yeah. Idolatry in the Old Testament is a counterfeit of the real thing. That's what I'm saying. See, the Ten Commandments say, like they stated in the negative, thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. But when we look at it, we got to see it in the positive. Like, I'm your Father. I brought you out. I've delivered you from bondage. I've delivered you from bondage. You've been born again. I am your Father. I am your Father. Shalt have no other gods before me. Don't make into any idols. Don't make an image. Here is my Son. He is my image. Worship me through my Son. Don't we come to the Father through the Son?
Yes.
Right. That's the experience. We come, we learn that God is our Father. Well, how do I get to know you? Here's my Son. Here's my image. And when we behold the image, what happens? We become changed into the same image. And so His name or His character, we're changed into His character as we behold the image of the Father, which is the Son. So that's a first, second, third. We get the character, the name. That's why He says don't take the name in vain. Don't take it empty-handed. Why? Because the character of God. Don't take that. Don't just call yourself a Christian. Receive the name. So don't take it. So if we take it, we need to receive it. And we receive that by looking to the image. Well, what about the fourth commandment? We understand the fourth commandment is really... What is the fourth commandment about? Worship? Yes, it's about worship. Rest. What else? Creation. Yes, it's about creation.
Ceasing from your work.
Ceasing from your work. There you go. So the process of recreation really is redemption, right? Redemption, salvation is a process of recreation. So God has brought me out of Egypt. I understand this is my Father. I should have no other fathers, no other gods. Here's my Son. Look to Him. His image or His character is in me. When we go through that process, we understand and we behold the glory of God. We realize that there's no way that my works can ever enter into or qualify me for salvation. And so I cease from my labors and I rest in the works that God has done for me and in me. The first four commandments. Now, once we experience that, once we experience and go through those experiences of the first four commandments, and we are seizing, we're not trusting in our own works, But we are now trusting in the works of Christ and resting in the works of Christ. And I believe in keeping the literal seventh day Sabbath. That's why we're here. But it symbolizes more. It symbolizes an experience that we're going to have. That is what, the mark of the beast is. We just think it's so simple. It's really having the character of Christ and not my own works. Now, once we have gone through that process, well, what do we do about the last 6 commandments? They follow. That's the fruit of having a relationship with God.